gate 3 for boarding.
The flight number's underneath and it's not on there.
Still evacuate, please.
They're all fighting over the mini egg.
It's the start of 2014 and a busy year ahead. Cardiff Airport is about to undergo a major transformation. It'll be spending the next year modernising its operation. They're updating the terminal buildings.
You obviously ate all the pizza.
Developing new routes and inviting their new owners to inspect the upgrade work.
It makes a big difference in terms of people's perceptions.
At the airport, normal operations must continue. There are sports teams to welcome, the fans that follow them,
It's even better.
major events to plan for, and scheduled flights to welcome.
We've got everybody on board, so now we're ready for our night flight to Cardiff.
Filmed over 9 months and with access all areas, this is the story of the airport. Coming up, delays lead to an impromptu concert in departures. The airport's firefighters get to grips with their new kit.
You haven't got a hammer.
No, I'm struggling with mine again.
Before finally putting it through its paces. And it's good riddance to a despised airport landmark.
Drives me crazy, that thing, if I'm honest.
January 2014, and Cardiff Airport is at the start of a major makeover. With the airport now owned by the Welsh Government, there's a big push to modernise, with building work going on across the terminal. But Wales's only international airport has to remain open 365 days of the year. As Chief of Staff, it's up to Jason Thomas to ensure construction of the first phase continues around the passengers.
Enormous pressure, to be honest. This project has to be completed by April the 25th. So I have to ensure, and I've got to keep making sure our contractors understand that this job has to be finished by the 25th of April and open to the public the day after. I don't fail, and we won't fail on this.
There's been a lot of stuff going on over the last...
Today, Jason's briefing staff on the progress of the works.
The first phase will run up until the 14th of March, and there's a lot of activity behind there. Demolitions, they've taken out all the remaining partitions that are there. This is the phase 2 work area for the contractor. At this point, the other big project is outside of the terminal, where we have to replace all our car parking equipment. When you come into the airport, there's a yellow bunker that you're greeted by when you approach. It's not what we want. It makes the place resemblant of a military establishment, if I'm honest, and we want to get rid of that. We've got a really tight programme, so there's going to be some challenges. We've just got to manage them as best that we can. It's a really exciting time and a really important time in for the growth of the airport.
Bonjour, you go to Orly, Toulouse, yeah, on and on.
Airport Operations Assistants. The AOAs are the public face of the airport.
Would all remaining passengers please immediately attend gate 3 for boarding? Final call.
They're a highly trained team.
Got a time on that?
Yeah, it was due in at 9:30, it's come in now at 11:15.
And it's their job to ensure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, 18, 19, 20. That's the main thing, isn't it? Trying to get the message across, get them checked in, have a nice journey, get them home.
Airport Operations, good morning, can we help?
From coordinating arrivals to assisting passengers find the departure gates, every day brings its own challenges.
I'll go down there now, it's gate 12.
AOA Christina Retter has worked at the airport for 11 years. Today she's got her work cut out as the airport gears up for one of the biggest events in its calendar, the Six Nations Rugby Tournament.
So it's always good when there's a match day, it's really good fun. Hopefully, everyone will be in good spirits and excited and there'll be a nice buzz in departures.
Today, travelling Welsh fans are heading to Dublin ahead of Wales's clash with Ireland.
Wales win, I reckon, let me see, close one, 23-21.
With the airport bars busy and spirits high, the last thing Christina needs are delayed flights.
We regret to announce that Aer Lingus flight 3295 to Dublin will be delayed.
The AOAs are experienced at handling problems and know that getting information to passengers is crucial.
The delayed Dublin, how many passengers are on board and are they all checked in? Usually with Rugby Crowd it's pretty good. We never usually have many problems with them. I'm pretty sure everyone will be in the bar, so I think we'll be okay.
It's a little bit cheaper here than Temple Bar. We might make it a regular event. Come on, boys!
But things could be about to liven up with news of yet more delays.
The aircraft's gone back to Dublin. Oh no. I think I spoke too soon. There is the earlier delay of the Aer Lingus, and now this air contractor flight is also delayed as well, both due to technical problems. Air contractor flight ABR 446J, departure to Dublin. Apologise for the delay to this flight. More information will be issued when it becomes available. We apologise for any inconvenience caused.
With delays lengthening, staff are keen to ensure passengers don't drink too much before their flights. Head of Customer Service Margaret James has arrived in departures to provide backup.
We have to be careful with delays about drinking and safety within the aircraft, so you have to keep an eye on what's going on. Sometimes if you have an extended delay, we may have to go to certain people and say, look, if you just cut back on a little bit of the drinking now because, you know, we want you to board and to be safe. I've been mingling amongst the passengers and I think you can see there's not really any problem happening with it. They're all so happy.
Cardiff Airport welcomes over 1 million passengers each year. With more than 50 direct flights and 900 one-stop destinations around the world. It's like a small town with a population that's always changing. Like all major airports, Cardiff has its own dedicated fire service. Located on the airport's south side, they're ready to respond to an incident 24/7. Today, Red Watch are due to receive new state-of-the-art breathing apparatus sets.
Morning, Red Watch.
But before they can put them through their paces, they must undergo some rigorous training, and it all begins in the classroom.
It's a light, compact set, hollowed out back, slightly different to our old sets. We've gone back to the simple gauge.
The new apparatus replaces kit they've been using for several years. For the first time, it means they'll all have their own dedicated masks, instead of sharing them with their colleagues in Blue Watch.
When you take the mask out, first make sure that you've got a tally with your initials on it.
The first thing Watch Manager Mike Onder has to teach the team is how to fit the demand valve.
And then don't be afraid to push on it and listen for a click. It's only fiddly because, like everything, it's new to you.
And it does indeed prove to be a very tricky task.
Yeah, while you're doing this, someone's backside's on fire and they're dying, so you need to get in pretty quick. They have to wait.
Preservation, Mike.
I've got it. I think I've got it at last. After about 500 attempts.
Tight, you don't need...
Andrew might have it, but Tony and Ryan certainly don't.
Something wrong with Mike. It's not working. We haven't got a hammer. No, I know. I'm struggling with mine again now.
I'm not doing very well on this one at the moment. I think it's giving me a diff one.
The catch is missing. That snapped off. Look at it, Mike. That snapped off. Look on that.
I told you it was faulty. I haven't put it on yet.
You see the bit out?
It's your age.
Despite the comment that the kit's broken, it's not a problem for Mike. So Tony must try again.
Don't give me a phone.
Come, what have we got all day, Tom?
I don't care. I'm here till 6.
Finally, it's success for Tony. He knows the importance of getting it right.
Ah, see, that was easy.
It's because
No, sometimes it just falls in.
you've got balanced pressure valves in there.
Just get the knack of it, that's all.
If you don't...
Right, Mike, you can carry on now. I've finished.
Finished or given up?
Back in departures, the Welsh fans are still waiting to get to Dublin in time for their Six Nations clash with Ireland. But things are about to go from bad to worse. It's the fire alarm, and Head of Customer Service Margaret James leaps into action.
Are we evacuating all out onto the ramp?
But with fans reluctant to leave their drinks, she's got her work cut out, persuading them to evacuate the terminal building. Just as people finally start leaving, there's confusion as the alarm stops sounding. But despite being told to continue evacuating, many fans try to return to the bar.
Until we're told by the fire section that we're stood down, we still evacuate. Still evacuate.
It may be inconvenient for the fans, but until she gets the all clear, passenger safety has to come first for Airport Operations Assistant Christina.
If you can make a way, please. We haven't had stand down from anyone. No one's informed us.
Stand down.
There is,
Stand
is
down.
there? There is stand down. All right, okay, that's fine.
Yes, we just had a stand down, so we're repatriating people back into the building now. Stand down.
Sorry about that, guys. Get back to your beer. Go and have one for me as well. As the alarm stopped, then they thought it was finished when it's not. We need to get the stand down time from the fire crew before we can allow passengers back into the building. Everyone seems okay about it. I think the beer has helped, so it's fine. They all seem to be okay.
Cardiff Airport is having a major facelift. Building work is taking place across the site. As Chief of Staff, Jason Thomas has to ensure everything runs on time.
It's a really exciting time, and it's just one of those necessary things you got to do to make the place better, you know, so people have been very tolerant so far.
Each week, thousands of passengers use the airport's car parks. And for many years, the first thing to greet them has been a yellow security hut that many have likened to something from an army base.
One of the first things that we looked at was to get rid of that hut, really. That was right on the hit list. So today is quite a symbolic day, and it goes in about 10 minutes.
Airport Chief Executive John Horn is in full agreement and has even turned out to make sure it really does go.
Oh, I'm very excited about it going. It's not going to be quite as spectacular as Top Gear blowing it up, but it doesn't look nice. It doesn't look good as you arrive at the airport.
It's being replaced by new state-of-the-art number plate recognition technology. But not everybody is pleased at the hut's demise. For security guard Sarah Clark, it means moving out of what has become a home from home.
Oh, my little yellow box is going. It's kept us dry in the rain, the snow, the sleet. So, yeah, it'd be sad.
Some people are getting a little bit nostalgic. It does have another life ahead of it. It's going to become a sort of windproofing hut for people in the baggage handling areas.
There's just time for Sarah to grab her final things, and then it's goodbye.
Okay, all done. I am now homeless.
Before the hut can be removed, several giant concrete barriers have to be taken away. But there's concern they may be too heavy to lift.
He's got a weight limit of 3.2 ton that he can lift with it. And there's different schools of thought on how heavy they are. I reckon he'd be fine. I'm going to guess 2.8 tons then.
It looks like Jason's guess was pretty much spot on.
I told you, 2.8, I guess.
With the concrete barriers gone, time is almost up for the despised yellow hut.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, hut.
Drives me crazy, that thing, if I'm honest. It's like a carbuncle on the estate, I call it. It's gone. There it goes. Wave goodbye.
Very simple act. I think he's going to have a very, very big positive effect.
No, I agree, totally.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's fantastic.
The start of the journey, eh? Excellent.
It's a short journey for the yellow hut, but for most passengers, Cardiff Airport represents the start or finish of a much longer trip. Its runway is capable of allowing 25 aircraft to take off and land every hour. Unlike many airports, it operates around the clock. Its rural location close to the sea, meaning aircraft can take off and land with minimal noise impact. Monitoring all movement on the airfield are Cardiff's air traffic controllers.
Cardiff Tower, left-hand circuit, 1 turbo coming out, 2 4.
From their control tower next to the terminal building, they're in charge of not only the aircraft, but also any other vehicle needing to operate near the runway.
Surface wind is 180 degrees at 12 knots.
Manager Aidan Cotty is keeping a close eye on operations. With 5 light aircraft due to arrive at the airport, he's concerned by the forecast for heavy rain and strong side winds.
This aircraft's just sort of starting to make its approach. It's just joined downwind in the circuit, which is just behind me. We're just trying to get him in nice and quickly. There's a big shower coming through at the moment from the southwest, so we're trying to get him in ahead of that, just to keep him away from the weather.
Light aircraft are particularly vulnerable to the weather, which can deteriorate extremely quickly with Cardiff's exposed coastal location. With controllers attempting to get the small planes quickly on the ground, they're also dealing with the many scheduled flights that come in and out of the airfield.
Thompson 36 Whiskey Cardiff Tower, good morning to you, runway 12, clear to land.
Over the coming months, managers at Cardiff Airport hope that air traffic control will be even busier. For airport boss John Horn, it's vital that the number of destinations served by the airport continues to grow. Today marks the arrival of a new carrier to the airport, and with it, routes to Glasgow, Paris, Edinburgh and Jersey.
The photographer's here and ITV are here, so I'll go down, meet them and get them all signed in now.
Paula and Cassie from the airport's marketing team are keen to maximise publicity.
And ITV and BBC are both going to be here for the film, to film the plane landing, so...
That's excellent. I mean, that sounds like it's all coming together, so...
Yeah.
Christine, hello, nice to meet you.
CityJet boss Christine Aumière has arrived from London for a photo call with the Welsh media. But it's a tight timetable, with just half an hour to get reporters onto the tarmac before the plane being used for interviews must take off with passengers bound for Paris.
At 10 past, so if you want to go up and get some shots on the aircraft now. We've got passengers boarding at 10 past 11, so we need to make sure all the photography's finished and all the filming's done by that point, because we don't want to hold up passengers today.
Events like this are all part of the airport's drive to raise its profile and attract other airlines, as well as new passengers.
Fantastic. It's a really important day, and the weather hasn't been on our side, but everything's going really, really well. It's really good.
With just minutes to spare, the photos and interviews are over. And with the Paris-bound passengers all on board, the plane can push back and head off to France. Keeping an ever-vigilant watch over airport operations are its dedicated firefighters. With their own fire station on the edge of the runway, they're ready to attend to any incident in just a matter of moments. Red Watch are preparing for one of their regular training exercises using the airport's specialist fire rig.
This is a purpose-built aircraft simulator rig. It's built exactly the same as standard aircraft. Virtually any scenario that you're likely to get in an aircraft crash situation, we can recreate to a certain degree within the chamber, within the aircraft rig.
The team have just taken delivery of their new breathing apparatus and spent the morning in the classroom learning how to use it.
This is where we find out how much they've retained, so we're going to find out if they really do understand what was explained to them in the classroom.
With the theory behind them, it's now time to kit up and put what they've learned into practice.
You put your set on, you check, make sure it's functioning and it's safe for you to enter the risk area.
Practicing fighting aircraft fires is a core role for Red Watch. In a real-life scenario, it might also see them involved in the evacuation and possible rescue of passengers and crew. The speed with which emergency firefighters arrive at the scene of an incident is of paramount importance. Today, though, it's been only about putting their new kit through its paces.
Yeah, it's good, much more comfortable than the old sets, more user-friendly.
Nice and lightweight. Found it was very effective inside. Longer amounts of air.
They did remember quite a bit from this morning. A few teething problems we saw in the classroom, which they've ironed out now. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty pleased with their performance.
Just getting used to the new demand valves and we'll be away there.
Yeah, all in all, I think it's definitely a positive move for the station.
In the airport departures lounge, the bars are still busy as the delayed Six Nations fans still haven't managed to board their flights. With two planes blighted by technical problems, many Welsh fans have now been drinking for several hours and are desperate to get to their destination.
Disappointed because it's my husband's 60th birthday celebration, our trip to Ireland, but things could be worse.
Airport Operations Assistant Christina Retta is doing her best to keep passengers informed.
All we can do at the moment is keep you updated and more when we receive the information. So it's just currently delayed, no time of departure yet.
Out on the stand, though, it looks like good news, as one of the delayed flights is nearly ready for boarding. With final checks and refuelling almost complete, AOA Christina can deliver the announcement they've all been waiting for.
Air contractor flight ABR 446J, departure to Dublin. Passengers are requested to proceed to gate 3 for boarding.
It's finally boarding now, so I think we'll have some happy customers. Looking forward to a good weekend.
And now you can relax.
And now, yes, I can. I can have my lunch. Happy days.
Bye-bye. Don't work too hard.
Next time at the airport, the terminal is invaded by hundreds of potential holidaymakers as the airport transforms itself into the venue for a high-profile travel show.
There's no business like show.
Oh, dear.
There are big changes in the security hall as an all-night building operation swings into action, and with it, a midnight feast.
Yeah, but I've got to watch my figure, so maybe not for me.
And after a harsh winter, the airport's taxi and runways are in need of some urgent repairs.
We've got 2,300 metres of runway and the same amount of taxiway, so there's always some work to do.